Okay, so it's week 3 of the second muzzle loading course, or muzzle loader course. Today we're going to be working the barrel. We're basically going to be prepping it for finishing, and then we're gonna pretty much blue it. I'll get into the details of what that is. I'm gonna try and make this one a little more brief, a little more straightforward. I feel like my past videos have been kind of all over the place, so I'm gonna try and make this one a little more easier to follow. First things first, though. This is I just made a run to Home Depot for all the supplies. We're gonna be heating it with the propane torch. So with that being said, all of my reloading stuff has to go. I'm pretty much just gonna almost gut the whole workbench. Stuff like this can't be here. That would be a bad day. And then that thing's just packed full of primers. So yeah, let's not do that. I'll probably disassemble this, but just leave the press itself. But yeah, it's time to get to work. Before I jump into it, a little side note. A lot of you have been wondering when I'm going to start posting stuff for, my aspiring business. That's still yet a young idea in my mind, but we kind of got the ball rolling finally. I actually have like a graphic designer now. We worked on the company logo the other day at work, so that's coming along pretty well. Subscribe to my channel, maybe like this video so other people can see it. Pretty soon I'll be putting videos up on, the process of my business. So, cool beans. So I did like a brief decontamination of flammable and explosive substances here. The only one of those that actually has ammo in it is this metal one here. Just considering that it's a wood workbench, for projects like these, you just gotta kind of choose your risks and know what you're dealing with. Remember that fire always goes up if there is a fire. And then, I should have mentioned this earlier, but safety first. I always keep one of these in here, make sure it's good to go. When you're doing a lot of reloading, you never know what's gonna really go down. So expect the unexpected and hope for the best. So I actually got this idea from somebody else I saw do the same project on YouTube. It was kind of an investment buying this vise because I wasn't sure how well it was going to work. I forgot to put the dowel in, so I got to take it back off and put that in. Basically, we want to seal off the bore, make sure nothing gets in there. But this is actually like super sturdy. I'm really surprised. So we're just going to roll with that. So the first thing we're going to use is this stuff right here. It's almost the exact same stuff that's in our workbook, actually. Oh no, somewhere in there. Probably shouldn't show that. That's like class material. But yeah, this is what we're using. And basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to get all like the debris and blemishes and surface scratches that there may be. We're going to use this to smooth those out. I'm sure it's going to probably take off a lot of this rust too. I think that's the idea. If not, it'll come off in the carding process as well when we're taking the rust that we induce on it off. So let's do it. So I couldn't find a wood dowel to plug this last hole over here. So I just used my, flight line maintenance, expertise, I guess, to make do with what I got. So I found a rubber band and I'm just kind of jamming it in there. I'll cut off the excess once it's in. I wouldn't recommend this method, but if you do find yourself doing something like this, just be very careful not to scratch the threads in there. Basically, we're sealing it off to keep the fluids or whatever we use on this barrel to get from getting inside, really. Alright, so good old brake cleaner. I got the non-chlorinated one just because I don't know what the difference is, but non-chlorinated sounded safer for this project, so this is what I'm going to be using. Now I'm not going to spray it straight on there just because I want to avoid mess where I can, so if I can spray it on a towel, I'm just going to. Alright, so we got the barrel fully degreased. We're about to heat it up and get ready to put the solution on. But first things first, don't forget to get this out of here before you start playing with that torch. That stuff is also highly flammable. Got the torch set up, got my thermometer set up. So the thermometer is reading from the bore side. Obviously, since we're applying the heat on the outside of the barrel, outside is going to heat up a little quicker. Textbook says 150 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, so I want to look for 150 there. That way I'll know for sure that the outside is up to heat. Another way to know, in case that dies or I just don't feel like using it anymore, this stuff will evaporate rapidly, as the textbook says. This stuff will evaporate pretty quick when you apply it. So I forgot to set up the bowl, but that's going to go into like a little bowl, maybe a shot glass, and I'm going to dip a cotton cloth in it, and that's how I'm going to apply it. One thing I forgot to mention, always wear a mask when you're doing this, because as you're putting that solution on this hot barrel, it's going to create a lot of fumes as it oxidizes, and you don't want to breathe that in. I haven't looked up what exactly is in those fumes, but I'm sure it's stuff you don't want to breathe in. So as you can see, it's starting to oxidize already. Looks like rebar when it rains, you know, it just starts to oxidize. But I can see under all the red rust that barrel's already starting to darken. My theory is that each time I do this, I have to do it like 4 or 5 times. Maybe more. We'll get a little bit less of the red rust. I'm gonna let this cool off, and we're gonna card it a little bit. All right, so I've let it cool off to where I can like touch it now. Obviously not with your bare hands, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw this carding wheel on this drill. We're gonna take off, you know, the residual like buildup of rust and see what it looks like. It's gonna take a few repeats of this whole process to get it right. I'm predicting like 4 or 5. I think I mentioned that already. But yeah, I'm just gonna take it all off. I'll time lapse it. Yeah, let's do it. And then, so that's the process. I'm going to repeat 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to videotape the whole thing, save some data, but I'll show you the end result. All right, so I've gone through the whole bluing, carding, washing process like probably 8 times now. It's a lot of work. So I'm hoping this is the last cycle. I guess we'll see. It's starting to look pretty dang good. I feel like I'm doing it right because, I mean, it looks good. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, I just finished carding it. I'm just gonna do like one last little touch up with it out of the vise. And then I'll do the last wash on video for you. I've already been through like a whole gallon of distilled water. So I'll show you that part of the process because I don't think I've included that yet. Basically, I just take it to the tub, the same tub that I shower in after working on the engine, so it's no big deal for me. But I just keep, I had a separate abrasive pad that I've been using that you've seen, and then also a toothbrush for like the dovetails and stuff and whatnot. But I guess we'll see if this is the last cycle that I'll have to take it through. Now, they don't specify how rich the water has to be with baking soda for neutralizing the oxidization of the barrel, but I'm just gonna make it kind of rich just to be safe. And I also have a lot of baking soda, so might as well. It's starting to get that really nice plum brown color, especially right here. All right, so that's looking pretty good. We gotta get the rusting to stop now, so we're gonna go ahead and dunk this, or not dunk it, but I have other means for rinsing with baking soda infused water, so we're gonna do that. All right, yes, we're filming in a bathroom. Yes, I know it's kind of weird, but it's for educational purposes only. This is a little bit better lighting so you can see what it looks like now. Kind of the color I was looking for. I wanted to go with something kind of dark. If I could have blued it, I would have just done that, but I did so many coats on this thing, it's pretty close. So I'm gonna set that right here. I already cleaned out the bathtub with distilled water and baking soda, so that's gonna have to do. I want to set this on something so it can rinse better. So essentially all I'm going to be doing, since I don't have a PVC pipe or a tank to my disposal, I'm going to rinse this with baking soda infused water. So just kind of pour it over it, and then that'll stop the rusting process. That way it doesn't start pitting from the solution that we've been using on it. I really wanted this to work right, so I put a lot of baking soda in this thing. This is but yeah, there's like a cup of baking soda in here. Considering the fact that I'm not dunking it and letting it sit in a baking soda solution for like 5 minutes, I made this extremely concentrated. So hopefully it does the job. Notice that I don't have the barrel plugged anymore. The plugs were becoming a nuisance and I had to figure out, you know, a workaround for that. So as soon as I'm done doing this, I'm gonna go treat the bore of the the bore of the barrel. The way I treat any new barrel that I get is I usually degrease my barrels and then I oil them, an accuracy oil, to prevent, you know, corrosion on the inside as well. I'm sure it's getting the bottom side, but just to be safe. At the bottom. All right, let's go treat the bore so it doesn't get ruined. So my phone died as soon as I finished pouring that water and baking soda over the barrel, but it worked pretty good. I was able to move on to oiling it. Basically, I use this stuff. It's a local company. It's a CLP, so it's like a good standard for long-term gun storage. So after I put the oil on, there's a few little spots like in the dovetail slots where some of the leftover rust from the bluing process was in there, and I was able to get my oil brush and scrub it out, and it's looking really good now. I went pretty nuts with it. As you can see, it's really dark. I almost went through the whole bottle. It's very excessive, I'm pretty sure, but I really wanted it to get really dark. This lighting is not really the best, but if you look at it in like a fluorescent light or like direct sunlight, it actually, it's like black with like a plum, can't even talk, with a plum brown tint. So the video's not really doing it justice. I gotta do the bore still. I'm gonna clean that out. I might even recrown it. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Can't really see it, but yeah, you know, good stuff. So yeah, that was probably the hardest SDI project I've ever done. You know, I probably look kind of tired. It's probably because I am. I think my cat's tired too. So yeah, she watched me do the whole thing. But in the meantime, it's pretty much done. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it just like I do all my rifle barrels, and you know, and that's the video for you. So, just like I always say, stay strapped, stay safe, and don't trust anything you see on social media. Later.